Oh no! Settlers are just getting wrecked. Oh my god, it's nuking the people. Look at them. Oh my god. It's like the Matrix. Or, what's that? Inception. It's like Inception. We're building a world around us as we're going through. Ah! They're even picking me up. I'm gonna get squashed by a bed or something. Whoa, what's going on there? Greetings, Vault citizens. Johnny5 Alive here, your Vault Overseer, and in today's Fallout video, I'm going to show you guys something called Export Settlements. We'll be testing it. People do know about this mod, but I have never tried it before, and for our Fallout Settlement series, we're going to need to test this thing out and see if it works, and I'm very curious to know if it's going to work on something as big as mine. So, without any further ado, let's give this a try. So, all you need to do for this, guys, I'll have some links down in the description below. You go to the page, you download that mod with the F4SE plugin, as well as a HUD mod, and you're pretty much set. It's pretty simple, pretty quick, and once you are in game here, there is a settings, transfer settlements at the bottom of your miscellaneous, which is very hard to dig through if you've played as much as I have. I probably should get some sort of sorting mod, but we are going modless for now. Just want to give this a go. So export this settlement to a blueprint. See what happens here. All right, we're going to go with slot 1. Export original items not built by the player. Yeah, that shouldn't matter, right? Export DLC items. I have a couple of those. Export modded items. Don't have any of those. I might have a couple dogs. I have a dog, so let's put that on there. Don't have any tamed creatures. Marker-based items. Don't know what that means. Export wired power connections. That is very important. Sanctuary Hills to slot 1. Let's do it. You've entered the Pip-Boy in third-person view. To avoid animation glitches, you have to close the Pip-Boy. Oh boy. Here it goes. Let's go into free cam mode and check this out. So you could see everything here is being covered with, it's being scanned. All this blue stuff is being scanned for export. It's gonna take a while to scan all this. I'm definitely gonna have to speed up the footage in a sec, but for the first 30 seconds or so here, let's talk about it. I quite like this, how it is a very sophisticated mod. I am very impressed by this. I mean, look at that. Scanning every single individual object, and I've seen videos on this when I was doing my research on how to make this work. Placing it down is even cooler. Whatever reason, the programmer has decided to do all these fun things, like you can nuke a settlement before you place one. So if you had built something in Sanctuary, you're like, oh, I want to put Johnny's settlement in here instead. You can nuke yours first, and you can have it so explosions go off. You can choose cinematic mode and have all sorts of crazy camera angles, and it just shows all the pieces dropping, and it drops them in layers. So I think that is very impressive work on this mod. I mean, absolutely one of the best mods in the game, if not the best, just because it gives us the power of sharing. Much like Planet Coaster, how we have the Steam Workshop, we can upload our blueprints and share them with other people. They download our blueprints and put them in their parks. This is the exact same idea. Essentially what we're doing here is we're saving this as a blueprint, and this game world is our park. And you know, there are 20 plus settlement locations in this world where you can basically import other people's creations and populate your world, and I definitely think that's very fun. What we're going to do with this is, once I'm done exporting it, I'm going to go to my other save file with the smaller fort that I had built that I showed you guys in episode 2 of Settlement Spotlight, and we're going to nuke that and import this to see if it works. But what this also means for us is we're going to be able to do these settlement spotlights. So if you guys have built a sanctuary, all you got to do is go through the process that I'm going through right now, and then upload it to the Nexus Workshop, and send me a link to your settlement. I will import it, and we will check it out. Yeah, anyways, here we go. It's scanned all the objects, or it's still scanning. It's at 8% now. I guess I'm just going to fly this camera around, cut to it when it's ready. Or maybe I'll just wait here. I don't know what I'll do. We'll figure it out. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Here we are, freaking 50 minutes later. We are at 98%, 5,137 objects total scanned. I have no idea what's going to happen after the scanning process. I'm assuming it's going to start the exporting process. So that is pretty wild. When you're building a settlement that's 5K pieces, it's going to roughly take you 50 minutes. So that's 10 minutes per 1,000 pieces. And that's just scanning. We'll have to see what happens after this. Hopefully it exports faster than it scans. But yeah, that's a minute 100 objects. I think I did my math right. So here we go. It's exporting 4,000 objects? But it scanned 5,000. Interesting. Well, I guess that's why we're testing it, right, guys? Seeing what happens here. It seems to be exporting at about the same speed as the scanning. So I'm assuming we're looking at another 39 minutes here. Oh boy, oh boy. I trimmed that down in the editing process for you guys for sure. And I'll probably cut to it once it's exported here. And then we'll go to the second segment of the video where we import it and give that a go. That should be an interesting process as well. All in all, I could imagine the importing process is probably also going to take an hour. Although I obviously don't really need to import mine, but we're doing it for the sake of testing something this massive. If you guys are building settlements that are huge like mine, it's always good to be reassured that it can be downloaded. I doubt anyone will do a city or settlement past this 5K limit. This is quite a doozy. I could see other settlements that we end up creating being a little bit more spread out. I have so many ideas for this series, and I'm so inspired by Fallout 76. I just feel like we don't have enough time. We have 5 months until Fallout 76 comes out. But the beta comes out earlier, and I have opted into the beta, so I definitely need to get my hands on that. So we don't know when that'll be. It could be 2, 3, 4 months from now before that beta drops, and I have so many great ideas for the series, and I'm super inspired. I'm excited about this, and I kind of wish I started it earlier. I really do, because there's just so much potential here. But not to worry, guys. When Fallout 76 drops, it's not like we're going to be able to crank out these settlement spotlights right away. I don't know how good the building will be right away. Oh, look, you can see the stuff lighting up green, which means it's being exported. So we're waiting for this whole thing to turn green now. Or I guess it goes green and then disappears. I see. Makes sense. Okay, yeah, so when Fallout 76 drops, we don't know how much building capabilities we're going to have. Maybe you're building smaller forts, less ambitious forts. We don't really know the scope of the building. And until the mods drop for the game, like, it might not be exactly what we're looking for a settlement spotlight. We might get some decent episodes, some decent let's builds, and things along those lines. But I don't think we're going to be able to really get into the nitty-gritty like the OCD decorator stuff, obviously because we won't have mods. So I think the real settlement spotlights for Fallout 76 will come down the line once the mods drop. So technically, we will have to continue playing Fallout 4, and that's quite okay. There's tons and tons of content for us to cover, and I said 5 months isn't enough time, and if I'm feeling like we're not really getting too many settlement spotlights out of 76, then I'll definitely be going, all right, let's download a blueprint from 4 and give it a go. Anyways, guys, I will stop rambling and cut to it when the exporting is done. I'll be back in a second, guys, and we will test the import feature. Holy freaking moly, ladies and gentlemen. It is now almost 1 a.m. I am exhausted. I've been watching Netflix and podcasts while waiting for this. With the scanning and the exporting all together, we are looking at 5 or 6 hours for this mega fort. So something to keep in mind, we saw what 5,000 pieces being scanned. So I would say if you have 1,000 pieces, expect an hour. And yeah, probably about an hour per 1,000 pieces. Now looking at the 4,000 pieces being exported, I'm curious about that number. I'm thinking, I had a lot of time to think. Extra 1,000 is probably coming from all the pieces laying around Sanctuary. However, I thought I had cleaned this place up fairly well, so maybe it's including even the small things that maybe you can't normally scrap by default, such as these shrubs and road pieces, like actual assets that have been placed down in the game that weren't intended for the players to delete. If you were to get a mod like Scrap Everything, you could probably find 1,000 pieces here to scrap. So anyways, here we are at the final percentage here. It is slowing down. This is definitely something you want to set up before bed, especially if you have a mega fort like mine. If you have something even a quarter of the size, you're probably good, but do it before lunch or whatever. But just know it's going to be about an hour per 1,000 pieces. So for me, in my case, if I would have known it was going to take this long, I mean, it's all an experimentation. So now I know for next time, I would have set it up and just gone to bed. However, because this is the first time, we want to know what happens when this export. Oh, see, does my game crash? Oh, something's happening. All that time. Successful export. Exporting data for Sanctuary Hills by Cherry Bomb into this directory. Okay, I have a file now. Successful export. Add-ons required to import this settlement. Automatron Wasteland Workshop. No further plugins required to import this settlement. So just the stuff you get with the game. Some Automatron and Wasteland Workshop stuff. Boom. So pretty much vanilla if you have the Game of the Year edition. We are good to go, everybody. It's saved. For some reason, I feel very weird about loading different save because it's like, did it work? Well, we will find out. We're going to go to JP, my other character. I think in the last video I did, I said I played him for 200 hours. That is very incorrect. That would be 120 hours there. So I definitely played this character for a lot less, but 120 hours is no joke. One thing to keep in mind, guys, I do only have 16 gigabytes of RAM on my rig. I think 32 would probably help the export function or the mod. I'm sure it has to do with RAM rather than CPU or GPU power. I would almost suspect purely RAM. So that might also be something. If you have a settlement my size, it might go twice as fast if you have 32 gigs of RAM. Something I'm going to have to test. It's been something I've been wanting to upgrade on my computer. I just haven't done it. Here we are at my other settlement that I've shown you guys the other day. We're going to do the nuke feature. So, how do we do this? Let's make this cool, even though it's going to take a lifetime. I have no idea what's going to happen, so I'll hand it to you. This place is awful. Only destroy items that I've built. That seems about right. Preparing to drop nukes. This is what Fallout 76 is going to look like, everybody. Hopefully not. We'll see. We turned explosions on. I'm really curious to see what happens here. Oh. Oh my goodness. Other mini nukes. Look at that. It's burning. That is incredible. The nukes are dropping fairly slowly, aren't they? It's kind of hoping to see like one big nuke and then everything just disappear. But the system's going through the pieces kind of like the process it did for scanning them, I suppose, or exporting them. It's probably deleting them one by one and just dropping special effects in random areas. Oh no! Settlers are just getting wrecked. Oh my god, it's nuking the people. Look at them. Oh my god. That's funny. It actually does damage to settlers. I did not expect that. Oh, we can see pieces starting to degrade and fall out. This is Fallout, everybody. Floating beds. Okay. I'm gonna let the camera roll. I'm gonna zoom out a bit, and we're just gonna do a little time lapse here for you guys. And I'll cut to it once this thing is nuked, and we will see. We'll stand by for the building process. So enjoy the nukes and fast forward, everyone. Okay. We have successfully nuked the base, apparently, even though this stuff is still here. What? Is that part of what comes with Sanctuary, maybe? No, because it's floating. Huh. Oh, look at this, everyone. Oh, I wish I had the console commands for clear day. Let me Google it. Alright. Clear day? Oh. We want day. Well, I'm missing it. So we're just going to stick with nighttime, because I was not prepared with the day code, but you can see everything dropping into place, or I guess raising into place. It's building my base! That is quite phenomenal. Now, I'm assuming with this fence here, it didn't get everything like it was supposed to. I'm curious to know why. Maybe using the nuke feature, you'll want to actually nuke everything, not just the things I've built. But look at that. That is brilliant. What a neat program. Well, look at the import. It's definitely going a lot faster than the export, so that's a good thing. Looking at it, we're getting about 100 pieces a minute, maybe more. Still going to take about 40 minutes to import it, I would imagine, but it's working. We are building up Fort Sanctuary in a completely new save. Show you guys one more time. Here we are. It's my second character. Cherry Bomb was the girl that I built this on. This is my first character, and it's literally a base being built around me. Can I interact with this stuff? Oh my goodness. It's like the Matrix, or what's that? Inception. It's like Inception. We're building a world around us as we're going through. Ah! They're even picking me up. We're gonna get squashed by a bed or something. Whoa, what's going on there? Oh, it's putting stuff in the box? I had stuff in the boxes? Oh wow, it remembers everything. That's a little interesting. It remembers what's in the boxes. That's actually pretty darn cool. Well, you know why that's useful, guys? Everything that I've collected on my other profiles, such as all the hats, the clothing, and this and this and that, if I decide I'm going to make a new game save, there's certain things where I just don't want to look up the console commands for. Like, I like the fact that I collect things in the Wasteland. You guys will see in probably my Settlement Spotlight episode 4 that I'll have coming out here. I have a museum of like everything I've ever collected in the game, and I collect everything: baseball hats, baseball shirts, you know, you name it, I have it. And I put a bunch of mannequins up on display for the purpose of decorating, and obviously all the clothing that I have is also great for decorating these settlers. So that's kind of how I came to be in terms of decorating all my people here. If I start playing a new game save to build settlements on, I'm not going to want to go in the world and find all these clothing items that I need to decorate my settlers with. So what I can do is I can put all the items I've ever collected into a bin or two, and go to a brand new settlement and drop the box on the ground with all the stuff in it and export that save as organized stuff settlement. It'll drop the box in with all the contents, and there you go. Now I've transferred all my items from one game save to another. This is also really cool for maybe any special weapons or items that you've collected in the previous games, such as the legendary weapons with special affixes. So that is very cool. Anyways, this is going a lot faster than I thought. So look at this, guys. Importing is way quicker than exporting. So if you have a 5,000 or 4,000 piece sanctuary like mine, export it before you go to bed. There'll be a message waiting for you in the morning saying your export has been successful. And you know, if I'm downloading your settlements for mod spotlights and stuff, shouldn't be more, I mean, unless you're crazy like me, I shouldn't have to sit here for more than, I guess, 15-20 minutes. It's a little bit of prep to get these episodes out, though. Definitely. I have to download the file, put it in, get into a game save, go to the settlement required to import, and then there you go, import it in and check it out. So a little bit of work there, and got some loading times and waiting times and stuff like that, but it's not all too bad. I think it's worth it at the end of the day for these settlement spotlights. I don't really know of a channel out there that's spotlighting all of the different crazy builds. I know I've seen videos on settlement builds, but not a continuous series, so I definitely want to bring that to the show here, especially because I've already kind of done the spotlights with Planet Coaster, so it fits really well here. So I'm pretty excited about this tool and what it means and what the possibilities are. And I'm going to stop rambling for a bit, and I'm going to just zoom out here and let you guys soak it up. Leave this on a time lapse for the next 50%, and I will be back, and we will walk around to make sure it's all working. Hoo-wee, you guys. Here we are at 99%. I cannot believe this. I was looking at it around 90% mark and thinking, it's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. There's a lot of missing pieces still, but it looks like it has done it. We're going to do a quick QA pass here in a second. Oh, stabilizing. No. Okay, it's doing a QA pass apparently. I see some stuff changing. What's going on here? What's stabilizing mean? I think it's just oh, look at that. Something's happening. This is neat. It's gluing it all in place, guys. Making sure it's extra sturdy. Hitting all the bolts. Oh, wow. That is very neat. I guess this kind of just resets everything. One final pass. Probably makes it so the collision boxes are set so that the AI can navigate the fort properly. If there's any objects that you interact with, it probably, you know, puts that last pass on there so all the functions work. Who knows? I'm just making assumptions. This is freaking magic. I literally feel like I'm looking at my other save. Quite phenomenal. Okay, I guess I got to do another little speed thing here. I'll see you guys in a second. And boom! Stabilizing is now complete. Is there another set? There we go. Another stage, of course, as I anticipated. Powering up. It said there was supposed to be like a thunderstorm thing. Thought like all the lights would come on. It would go to night. I'm going to stop the recording and start another one when we get this thing powered up, everyone. Or when we're at 99%. So I'll see you in a sec. Alright, the power-up process is now at 99%. Took a little bit longer than I hoped. I guess when you are importing with the power-up and the last step that we did, which was the initializing, it might take a little bit longer, but definitely shorter than the export, guys. Not too bad at all. Definitely less than half the time, but something you're definitely going to want to hit import and walk away from if it's something big. You'll know how big it is based off of how many pieces it's importing. The power on mine is particularly high. Here we go. We are successfully imported. Perfect. Okay, one last step. In order to fix all nav meshes and furniture markers placed by the script and generally make them newly imported settlements stable, please always give your settlement some time to adjust. Travel to a few locations that are far away from this one. Guarantees that the cell is going to be reloaded when you return. Come back in a couple of in-game days and you'll be able to assign settlers, build new objects, or edit existing ones. Do not start building or scrapping objects immediately. Do not try to assign settlers to jobs right after successful import. Okay, well that is all important information. However, as long as we're not walking through walls and the collisions there, we just want to ensure that it's all here, that it worked properly, because we're basically just going to throw this save away. I'm going to revert. So all this here, all this waiting process, this testing, all this shenanigans was simply to make sure it all worked. So here I am on JP Bruiser, completely different character from Cherry Bomb, and we have Sanctuary here. Okay, I'm going to do some traveling around and waiting in another location. Probably should have saved my game first. I think it froze. Uh-oh. Looks like on the fast travel my game froze up. There was no autosave. Definitely after you import something, save it immediately. I for some reason all that waiting, I figured there would have been an autosave. Didn't think to do it. My bad. It reverted to the previous settlement, so I would have to import this all over again. Oh my goodness. So maybe what I'll do is do another import overnight and check it in the morning. But I think it's important to test my settlement, make sure it works, because I have an unusually large settlement, and if I do upload that to the Nexus Mod Manager for you guys to download, I definitely want to make sure it works. So unfortunately here we're gonna have to do the nuke reset thing, and maybe this time it'll work better. Alright everyone, I will cut to it when we're ready. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is morning. I had the export running overnight and it froze, and I had to hard reboot my computer. So that's not a good thing. You definitely can't leave it overnight, I don't think. Maybe the import, froze overnight. I think you could leave the export, because when it's done, and the file's there. However, upon loading up the game this morning, as you can see here, there is a save at 23 hours. That would have been our autosave fast travel. I do not know why this was not showing up last night, but it's here today, magically. Thank goodness. We're on JP. The Sanctuary is here. I have waited in a different town for about 3 days. We're hoping that the cells are reset now. I think one way to test it would... Whoa, I'm walking into something that's not quite there. I don't know if the cells actually reset. I was going to say one way to test this is to test the bench, because it didn't seem to be working. It's still not working. there's some sort of invisible barrier here that I can't walk around. Very interesting. Let's, well, I can't wait unless there's a bench. I'm gonna have to go to another location and wait, it seems. Let's hope everything is in order. Nonetheless, everything is there. We could see that, but we definitely want to fix any bugs or hitches, and for whatever reason, we saw a bug right then and there at the entrance gate, with the bench not working, as well as, see, some sort of invisible barrier that I cannot walk past. So that is very interesting. It seems to have changed. I can't even enter at all. Very interesting indeed. Let's go into settlement mode. Something there. So the cells may still be resetting. Let's try and put a bench down. Well, looks like I don't have any materials. A bed. Let's try sleeping here. Alright. Taking a nap here. Seem to have fixed it. Interesting. Can we sit on the bench now and wait? Still no wait feature. I do want to wait till it's nighttime and test the lights. So let's do that. Let's see if the lights work here in Sanctuary. The switches were on by default, so that might... Whoa! Big power surge. There. Oh, it wants to work. It's not quite working yet. I think it just needs more time. As the instructions said, wait a few days. I think you might need a few weeks for a settlement the size of mine. Let's go take a look around and make sure everything else is at least there. Looks like the lights are all working. Maybe not the front. We still have some leftover bits from the last settlement. So hopefully we can get in here. A couple fences. We noticed that problem the other day. It did not quite nuke everything properly. Not the biggest deal. We could still scrap it. So there's that. But I don't need to do all that. We're just testing this to see if everything's kind of intact and in order. Did the other benches work, I wonder? Still can't wait. So maybe... Well, fell through. Collision isn't working on that one. Hopefully I'm not stuck here. Okay, so we still have some issues with the cells not loading in properly. Is this something can be fixed over just a sheer amount of waiting? Not entirely sure. But we can... Yep. Oh no. Yep, that's a problem. We got mysterious traps. It's a trap. Okay. Visually, everything is here. We still have power armor from the previous base. I need a mod that says, "Get out of my way." I think I had that before. It might have been the mod that I did use. That's annoying. Alright, we're gonna have to go around another way. How's the computer lab looking? Whoa! Is that Junkyard Dog? Why doesn't... It's... Whoa. It doesn't look like Junkyard Dog. And something is weird. It's highlighting when it shouldn't be. Unless it's still reloading things. This is very interesting indeed. In terms of bug testing, it does not seem to be 100% yet. I don't know if this is resolved by a series amount of time of waiting, but everything is here. We still have some leftovers from the previous one, and I'm wondering if that has anything to do with some of the bugs we're running into. Like that maybe invisible fence. I'm able to walk around on everything other than the exception of a few floor panels outside. No idea why some of this stuff is loading up green. Can we sleep? We can. So I do feel like, in fact, it still needs time to process all the cells because this settlement is so large. Which makes sense. It's understandable. For the most part, some of the beds and televisions and other things are working. And I think the reason some of them are showing up green is because it's still trying to load and process things. So it just is a matter of time. It's really what it comes down to. As you can see here, everything is here though, and that is quite phenomenal. So is it a complete success? No. Could Could it be a complete success? Most likely, yes. It's just a matter of how patient we're going to be. And because I'm not actually importing this into my game to leave it forever, I don't really think I need to sit here and do all the waiting for a few floor panels. Let's see, am I still falling through them? I am. I do think waiting in another settlement for a few more days could fix some of these issues. It's only a few floor panels. Resetting the cells is resetting the collision barriers, and some of those collision barriers, as you can see here, just fell through. That is why we're falling through things. There's no collision. Quite hilarious. But the doors are working, some of the benches are working, some... Let's see if this one works. So the beds were working. Can't wait at this one. I think it comes down to a matter of time. The lights out front could also be bogging things down. We saw them half working. I'm feeling like this is still pretty darn good. So it depends on how much of a risk taker you are, how much testing you want to do. There it is. I mean, you can import my sanctuary into your world, give it a little bit of waiting time, and it should work. But it was very interesting to test out this process, because now at least I know I can go in and download people's settlements and check out the artwork and effort that they put into it. And if they are good, you guys can download them and put them in your games. And I think that is quite incredible overall, even with a few bugs here and there. The current bugs that you guys are seeing, the worst case scenario, if you waited another week and they did not reset, if you fell through the floor, all you would have to do is essentially scrap it and rebuild it, put another one down. So I don't really, at the end of the day, I don't think it's the end of the world. You might have to fix a few things. Generally, I mean, that's how anything goes with game assets. You gotta check for bugs, look for things. Same with mods. So generally, I think it works pretty solid. I'm on my JP character, and there's my settlement. Copy pasted. I mean, that is quite incredible. So I think the mod is a success. It's going to serve a purpose. It's going to be able to let us check out your guys' creation. So if you do have a creation, all you got to do is upload it to the Nexus mod manager. You can check out my link down below, because I will be uploading this. You can download it, import it into your game save. Just want to clip this into the video, everybody. Post doing the video recordings, I had obviously uploaded the sanctuary to the workshop to see how things would go, and it's quite a easy process, quite a fun process. You can make your own little banner, upload your screenshots, attach videos to it, all sorts of fun stuff. And this is only from a few hours ago. See here, four hours ago, it has already gotten 1,123 views, 41 downloads. I don't really expect there to be a whole lot of downloads, especially on something this big. I'm pretty sure most people will just want to see what people are up to. So long as you provide enough images and videos, they can kind of get an idea right then and there. So I just wanted to clip this in to show you guys that it is successful and it works very good. And for the people that watch my channel for Planet Coaster and the creative aspect of the channel, this is a very positive thing. If you look at this is it's about 300 views an hour at the time of posting it, and I don't have any credibility or followers on the Nexus mod page. So this is simply coming in from the new featured items on the front of the page. It's not getting that kind of volume and traffic that you would expect from Planet Coaster. This is pretty comparable to Planet Coaster in terms of traffic. I know a lot of people upload to the Planet Coaster workshop and are very excited to see the views and the traffic and stuff like that. I would say that this is more successful for new builders than the Planet Coaster workshop, because sometimes you don't really get this much traffic right away until you hit the front page of the Steam Workshop, or unless you have a lot of followers. There are a lot of people that have less than 100 views or less than 40 subscribers on any of their creations on the Planet Coaster Steam Workshop. So for this game being 3 years old, a year and a bit older than Planet Coaster, this is very, very good news. So if you're a creative person and you like to share your creations with everybody, this is definitely the way to go, and it's quite exciting for me to see this results here. So I'm pretty happy about it. I'm excited. There's a link down in the description below to take you to this page, guys, if you want to download it, drop an endorsement and all that stuff. And I will hopefully have more coming as soon as I can build them and upload them. But I'm excited about this whole process. So I just wanted to clip that into the video. I'm going to return to the outro or wherever I was in the video and leave it at that. I'm pretty excited this is working. I can pretty much delete or revert the save now. All of this was really just to make sure that the save worked. So I was able able to import this properly for the most part. Probably needs some cell resetting still, but that is quite okay. We did notice there were some invisible walls here waiting a little bit longer. They are gone. So the game is still processing cells in this area, hence why some things aren't working perfectly. Boom. So there you go, guys. That was quite the ordeal trying to test this thing out on a base this size. Probably should have done my example on something smaller in scope. However, I did want to get this up on the Nexus page so that people could download this and check it out. If they want the option to download something big, there it is. So obviously when you're testing these things, you want to go big or go home. And that's what we did here. We wanted to stress test the tool, and we certainly did that here. And even with all the stress that we put on it, it seemed to come out quite successful. So very cool indeed. Very difficult video to make. So if you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily videos. And if you'd like to support the show so I can continue making these videos for you guys, please do consider becoming a patron. It definitely helps out a lot. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.